Hello, 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 hello. This is Eklo. IAmEklo on socials. Full name Adam Tocholke. Today we are looking at suited connectors and one gappers, and we're not going to be looking at the really easy ones to play like king queen suited. We're going to look at like some of the middling connectors and middling one gappers. This is a really good topic because a lot of people have what I call suitius, gappus, connectitis, which is the inability to fold hands that match the same suit that are relatively close together. They just can't do it. They've got this condition, and we're here to provide some medical support to, relieve those ailments. Suited connectors are a lot stronger deep stacked than they are short stacked. The reason that they're more powerful and more desirable deep stacked is because of implied odds. This spot right here, we have 7-8 suited middle position. If we have like 20 big blinds and we can only win 20 big blinds, it's pretty risky opening this hand. So you can see on the little chart here to the side, it's just an open. Like it's barely in there. The implied odds at 30 are like mediocre, so this hand can play. The EV of folding it or playing it is probably pretty close. But when we're short stacked and we can only win 20 big blinds, risking those chips just really isn't that worth it, because we can save our chips, especially at like 20 big blinds. We're much better off doing like 3-bet jams and stuff like that. But when we're deep stack, say we're at 100 big blinds and we have 7-8 suited, even from like under the gun, if we open that small and we get involved in a pot and we make a straight or we make a flush, we're going to be making like 100 big blinds. So it's a bit more valuable to take the risks when you're deeper. Simple rule of thumb, play your suited connectors when you're deep. Don't play them when you're starting to get short. Like say you have this hand under the gun and you're short stack, just fold it. This hand, for example, so we do open this one. Get a bunch of folds and we have position. Awesome. This guy raises us. We're too short here, so that's why this is a fold. If we were at 100 big blinds, I would definitely call this. We have position. We have the ability to stack them for like 100 bigs. Much more worth it. Here, we're putting in like 30% of our stack with a hand that's not really good if they just jam. So this is a fold. And that's kind of already a good example of what's happening here at mid-stack. Like that's why we don't want to be opening when we start getting really short. What are you going to do with like 6-5 suited when somebody 3-bets you, right? Like you have to fold it. So we're better off just folding those. It's a similar approach with weak suited aces, weak suited kings, and lower pockets. We put those into the category of flush farms and set farms. When you're deep stack, they're a lot more valuable than when you're short stack. 4-5 suited on the big blind. So we have 3 big blind raise. So right now we're at about 45 bigs effective. It looks like this is a heads up pot. We just flat because it's we're not going to be 3-betting this against under the gun. We're not folding very many of our suited combos on the big blind. So we flop combo draw. I don't think I screwed up here, but I deviated from GTO because of the player. They are playing a ton of hands and they're 3-betting a lot. So they're just playing very wild. They bet here, and in GTO land, we want to be raising this because we want to get chips in against an ace, because we have a very, very high chance of making a straight or a flush. So we want to get a lot of chips in. We're still pretty deep. We want to get chips in. So it's better to raise in this spot. I opt for a call. The reason being, they have a 46 VPIP. So they're probably playing hands like Jack 8 offsuit, 10-7 offsuit. They might even have like 4-3 suited, all the way down to 3-2 suited. They're going to have all the pockets. They're going to have any ace, whether it's suited or not. They're going to have lots of King X. But they're going to have a lot of that middle stuff too, just like Jack high. And we just don't want to fold that out if we think they're just going to keep blasting. So then I check and they bet again. And at this point now, we can just call because they're priced in if we hit. We brick and we're just going to give up here because in theory, they should have a lot of ace-X. But they have Jack 9. Obviously, this hand, if we would have just went ham on the flop, we would have won. So if I went with GTO here, I would have won. But I didn't, and I got wrecked. Lesson learned. Looks like a tournament just started here because we're all at 100 BBs. It's like the first hand of the tournament. So MP opens. We have call with a nice suited connector. Raise, call. Call. So at this point, we can't fold. We only have to put in 6 bigs, and the pot's going to be 36. We flop an open-ended straight flush draw with an existing flush. First hand of the tournament, 40 big blind pot. We just flop it. Pretty nice. And this guy just jams. So obviously we call. Another player calls. 3-way all in. Ace king with the king of hearts and 4-2. So this is a blunder, right? 100 bigs deep under the gun or MP or whatever. Just this doesn't need to open, right? And then they called a 3-bet too. They called a 3-bet that was already going at least 3-way, and we do not want to have baby flush draws in those spots. We could have got smoked by another heart, but luckily this villain was blocking a ton of hearts for us, and that is a huge pot. 300 big blinds.